My name is Stuart, and in normal times I'm a volunteer at Lighthouse. I go along to the Wednesday and the Sunday meetings, mainly to socialise, get to know some of the brothers and sisters who come along. And sometimes I'm able to help by perhaps helping someone fill in a form, or maybe with a telephone call, or to go along to some appointment or other with them, that sort of thing. Well, yes, my wife Anne also works for Lighthouse, and early on in the realisation of the impact of this virus, we took the difficult decision to step back from the frontline work. And this caused me one morning to wake up with what I can only describe as the fear of being useless. I realised that fear is not something that a Christian should hang on to, so I prayed about that and came to the understanding that actually this is part of the sin of pride. I was finding it difficult to recognise that the team could manage quite well without my help, and that made me feel awkward. So, of course, I had to confess that. But then, remarkably, I was turned to my morning scripture, and it was a passage from 1 Thessalonians chapter 2. And in that passage, Paul talks of his longing to be with the Thessalonian church, and he was prevented from doing so. And that made me realize not that Paul was necessarily going through the fear of being useless, but there was some sort of comfort in realizing that Paul himself had been in my position of longing to be with people, longing to do things, and being prevented from doing it. So yes, I find it difficult being at home, but I'm beginning to understand how to cope with that. Well, of course, I could take inspiration from Paul again. The first thing I realized was that even though he was a long way from his beloved brothers and sisters, he was able to pray for them. So I recognized that even while I'm at home, I can pray. I could pray for our team leaders who are able to be out there on the front line, and they are doing an absolutely fantastic job taking food and other things to people in need and helping people in all kinds of different ways. So there's a ministry for me from home. I can pray for them. The other thing, of course, is that Paul communicated with the church. He had to send Timothy to do that. And I realized that I could also communicate with our brothers and sisters. I spend maybe an hour a day talking to people on the phone, encouraging them, praying with them, reading scripture sometimes to them, and of course, getting a lot of encouragement from them as well. And that's been a great privilege, a great ministry. Yes, well, I think I would say that if any of you are suffering from the fear of being useless, or indeed any other fear that comes with this very difficult time, then I would say talk to God about that, and perfect love casts out fear. Pray that God will bless you as he has blessed me, show you the ministry that you've got, whether it's prayer ministry or whether it's phoning your friends and encouraging them. And God be with you. Thanks for listening.